What confused you the most in high school? When I was in middle school, I didn't realize why people hated me so much. I was nice. I was relatively quiet. And yet everyone flicked to me to bully me. They'd mention my weight, my favorite music, the people I was friends with, anything just to make fun of me. It ducked me up really badly. Once I reached high school and everyone was just more accepting in general. I couldn't figure out why I had so many friends. I had friends in nearly every clique. And I had no clue why. Why did no one like me a year ago and now suddenly I actually have friends? Man, the self-loathing is strong. Edit. Holy crap. I wasn't expecting to come back to so much support. Thanks for the silver, kind stranger. Why some teachers had a power complex and others were super nice. Future teacher here. Some people couldn't get a profitable job in their field after college, so they reluctantly became a teacher. These people tend to hate kids or think they are stupid, making have a power complex. Super nice teacher are the ones who based their career around children and want to make a change in the world because children are the future. When I told my family I wanted to be a teacher, they got upset and said that should be a backup plan. When it's a backup plan, being a teacher is a sign of failure in your field. How everyone seemingly agreed that once we were in middle school, we just stood around and talked at lunch. I still wanted to run around outside, but I guess I didn't get a vote. The weirdest thing about going from primary school to intermediate was the lack of playgrounds. I can kinda understand high school, wouldn't that have been cool though, but 11-12-year-olds still wanna play. Why I was bullied. I will never know WTF I did to that girl to hate me so much. My bully said their reason was due to me not being black enough or trying to act white, whatever the hell that means. It means they are ducking trash and don't know a good person when they see it. I've seen plenty of friends get bullied for going to college and getting good jobs. BC they don't hang around ghetto kids and drop out. Because being successful is a bad thing or a ducking white thing. Dropping out isn't bad either. I was a high school dropout. I got a pretty good job outside of labor. I was lucky. And so I know dropouts aren't bad either. But people who bully others for success, or non-success, are dicks. How the moment we transitioned to high school suddenly like half of the rules changed and everyone knew about it. Like, in middle school, we would get yelled at and got a detention for not raising our hand or for saying a mean swear word to a friend or whatnot. Now, in high school, all of a sudden everyone blurts out whatever they want and can swear much more noticeably, and the most they get is a "hey, don't do that" from a teacher. It's not bad, of course, but it's just confusing. Why people would ask me questions or have a conversation with me, pretending to be my friend, and then they'd make fun of me afterwards. Several things. Why some teachers became teachers. Why some trends were trends. Why people were so mean to nerds. Why girls wanted to date older guys. As a girl, I think we want to date older guys cause we think they might be more mature, physical and mentally. For the nerd thing, I think people pick on nerds because they either think we're below them or because they are threatened by our intelligence and make them feel bad for being dumb. Why everyone was so obsessed with dating and romance. Actually, I'm still confused by that lol. I'd say it fills the void. Humans are pack social animals and we need connection on a physical level. Long story short, neurobiologically welcome touch makes us happy. If there's interest, I can point you to some studies I've read on NCBI when I'm more awake. Edit. Humans are not mules. Noted. In grade school, my best friend who went to public school started going out with a boy. I couldn't wrap my mind around that idea and would constantly ask where they go. She said sometimes they talked in the hallway between classes. I was so confused. Yup. I definitely had a few boyfriends in school that I never actually hung out with much outside of school. I had a girlfriend in high school. She just didn't know it. How stupid some adults can be. And not even realize it. Which still baffles me sometimes. To this day. I've met 6-year-olds smarter than some teachers I've had back in the day. Right there with you. So dumb they didn't realize it. I taught for 18 years and have seen some doozies come and go. Not saying I'm a genius, but I know when I'm out of my depth. Why some people were so absurdly popular even though they weren't anything special. As someone who was popular, I feel like you have a misconception. People don't really become popular because they are necessarily special. They become popular because they hang out with a popular group. Since this group is very large, they house the largest amount of special people. How to grow up along with my peers. Someone suggested let's play tag. And we did. For a few minutes. Then they all stopped and just chatted with each other. I was confused. I wanted to play. And I was crap at making conversation. I'm reminded of the old romantic comedy, Running Scared, where the girlfriend of Billy Crystal says something in an argument like, "Act like a grown-up for once." He replied, "I don't even like grown-ups." I've sometimes ended up chasing the kids around at family BBQs when the other grown-ups' conversations got too boring. Women. I'm a girl. And I find boys confusing after lol. The immaturity levels of the people around me always dumbfounded me. How kids could be so cruel to each other. I later realized why they were so cruel and this confused me even more, and I remember asking my dad about it and he said welcome to adulthood. How some kids got away with doing hard drugs. I always ask myself where are their parents after high school. I realize the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I still remember one of our most awesome, tough love, grouchy old man teachers in high school saying everything teenagers do is to impress each other. That stuck with me. What confused me? Algebra. I went from being great at math to suddenly there's letters mixed in everywhere. WTF just happened? Every day in math class felt like I had missed a week of instruction. I'm 40 now and nerdily enjoy when I need to study up on math for any reason because that high school experience pissed me off so much. I remember feeling like some a-hole was playing a big joke on me. The school itself. They can't keep the same staff for more than a year except for a few stragglers, and then some teachers are either wildly unqualified or complete assholes. How the school nurse still had a job. During 6th Ed she came down and did this big presentation with a tape where we stuck it to multiple people and showed that it was no good to represent that people who have multiple partners aren't likely to find a good spouse because they're all used up. Then went on and on about how we should only have sex with one person. But felt the need to mention that some of us already had that opportunity taken away from us. There was a 13-year-old girl who was heavily pregnant. Her 20-year-old boyfriend was the father. The nurse glared daggers into her. I wanted to stab that itch so bad. I also got that it was heavily implied that some people in the class were abused. So they were all used up too. I'm guessing that girl's parents didn't care. And I never told any adults. But as an adult I can't even imagine the tantrum I would throw if my child was subjected to that. How I passed with an A when I had like over 20 assignments not turned in. Quality, not quantity, makes the grade, I guess. How one day I hated my classmates and the other day I loved them. I'm in high school and some kid keeps cheating on the floor and the wall. Not sure why, but it keeps happening. Seeing as my last day of high school ever was yesterday, I'll say this: save the turtles. Why, you ask? Because everyone at my school, especially white girls, would be all into the whole save the turtles thing. I get it. Plastic straws kill turtles when they eat them. But there's a lot more than that killing them. I'm pretty sure your plastic cup, which ends up polluting the oh so precious turtle habitat, isn't helping. I know this sounds harsh and callous. But come on. If you are going to campaign for reduced plastic use, make sure you aren't being a hypocrite. Gym teachers who preached about healthy well-being and making us run a mile on Wednesdays. Yet the coach was like 400 pounds and just sat there yelling. This is going to sound like a humble brag, but it actually confused me. Why girls would pick on me. Teachers said they liked me. But I don't see how pulling my hair and shoving me around is flirting. Why girls would come to me with their problems, later told I was a good listener. And why girls would use me to make their boyfriends jealous. At several points I was surrounded by girls wanting to hug me. To this day I hate the nickname they gave me. And math. Girls are just weird. And math, don't even get me started on that. I remember learning about the American voting system and the Electoral College and being confused as shit. I couldn't figure out why we didn't just tally up the votes and give it to the candidate with the most. I had always assumed it worked that way. Why people stand in the middle of the goddamn hallway and get so offended and defensive when you ask them to move. Why people gossip. I'm still confused on why. The egos. So many handsome jocks and pretty cheerleaders are working 9-5 just like the rest of us. I was shit in school. No one knew me. I kept telling people that popularity won't mean shit the moment we walk out those doors. No one believed me. Most of those people have 2 kids at their mom's house. It just blows my mind that they thought being the shit in high school was some sort of benefit to their lives after high school. I don't get it. Why all of my peers were obsessed with wanting to know how many girls I had slept with and who they were. Not just my buddies. But my girlfriends in high school also demanded this information from me. They all acted like it was ridiculous that I kept that information private. Guess what? It is private. It's nobody's business and you do not have the right to ask. If anyone still in school is reading this, you absolutely cannot be forced to discuss your private sex life with anyone. Not even with your current partner. If they try to pressure you, that's a red flag. Still there. Why do we have so much homework? We're expected to get 8 hours of sleep, juggle family, friends and food, get up at 6 AM and function for 6 hours and then go home and do all this homework? There's no point. My friends are all depressed, suicidal and or sleep deprived. There's many obvious flaws to this system. I see this and I'm 16. What confuses me the most is why it seems like everyone is always constantly itching about everything. Even if that thing doesn't even matter in the long run. How 1 second something is cool and the next with no change in scenery it is the most offensive thing anybody's ever heard. Oh, here's a good one. How other people kept photos after upgrading their phones. I'm a freshman. Got my first phone in 7th grade and yesterday learned you can back up photos to the cloud. I have 2 groups of photos in particular I wish I had with me. The first is a collage of photos and videos of the 2016-17 Sun and Fun Air show with my uncle and aunt. I live in Tennessee and love visiting them. And the other is a couple selfies and photos from a 4-story tree I climbed when I was lighter. I live in a small town and could see pretty far. I can no longer climb that high due to my weight. When I was in 5th grade, I had a friend named Steve Blade. We were as close as 2 friends could be. One thing led to another and soon I would discover I was having strange feelings for Steve. I used to dream we were on a deserted island. We'd swim naked through the sea and then he'd try and woo. Turn it off. Why kids brag about getting in trouble? Pretty much all the boys in my school did that. Once someone stole a kayak and had to go to court. The next day he comes in like he saved the world. Also all the boys in my school were big digs.